giving me this and that and this and that. Cause this and that, people, is all they've ever known. Does it really matter how it all started? Does it really matter how it's gonna end? Reality is getting too damn unpredictable. Unpredictable times call for the reliable friend. My rocket 88, fastest in the land. Cruise down, velocity. My rocket 88, fastest in the land. Cruise down, velocity. Slap on it. Everybody keeps telling me, Neil, you got to quit your low down ways. So I asked them if they have the solution, and they just shake their heads and slowly walk away. My rocket 88, fastest in the land. Cruise down, velocity. Your car. My rocket 88, fastest in the land. Cruise down, velocity. My rocket 88, fastest in the land. Cruise down, velocity. My rocket 88, fastest in the land. Cruise down, velocity.
Drivers, to your cars.
Phantoms of the Second Civil War. You gather them around, and every time you open up your mouth, a load of horse shit comes flying right back out, Mr. Freedom Beats, I'm talking up, but thank you very much, but no. Mr. Freedom Beats, I'm talking up, but thank you very much, but no. Serious business on your lapel. Let the people know how you feel. And every bumper sticker on the back of your car makes you feel a little more real. A little more real. Mr. Freedom Beats, I'm talking up, but thank you very much, but no. Mr. Freedom Beats, I'm talking up, but thank you, but no. I bet you would like nothing better than for the shit that hit the fan. And from the safety of your armchair, perfectly laid those plans that no one else but you could possibly understand. Mr. Freedom Beats, I'm talking up, but thank you very much, but no. Mr. Freedom Beats, I'm talking up, but thank you very much, but no. Thanks for thinking of me. Mr. Freedom Beats. movable type. Very transient, very influential. Like the large hadron collider. The more you see, the less you understand. The atmosphere's getting volatile. Waiting on the corner for the Swiss guy to arrive. To arrive. And when they do, we'll battle them and rattle them. Hammer versus mind. Versus mind. Once more, onto the breach. Go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching Tarnation TV. Hey, we have 400 subscribers now. Imagine that, eh?
Oh, it jumped up.
It just did. I just checked it. Like within the last day or two, it hit. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, TarnationTV.com is the website, of course. YouTube.com/TarnationTV. And you're watching us this evening. We are at Open Speedway, and the last Monday of every month, they have their championship race. So we're going to be talking about some points, and this is, of course, a doubleheader. As exactly the reason why they call it Monday Madness, because we're doing 2 races. We do a bunch of races. These guys have been doing sprint runs on Richmond, Atlanta, Bristol, we're at Texas now, before the point event actually starts. So those 2 tracks will be California and a new track called Open Speedway, which is a retextured version of Talladega. Thanks, John Godfrey, for that. Haven't even seen it yet, so that'll be kind of awesome. We'll definitely make sure the drone is all fueled up and ready to rock and take you for a tour of these glorious facilities. But without further ado, my name is Blaine Donlan, joined by Rod Weston.
Yes, sir. We're back at the Monday Madness Open Speedway. It's a pretty cool little event, IROC series. As you were talking about before, these guys do some sprint races, which we'll be, showing a little bit of that here in a little bit. But they run only 2 tracks a night. But at the IROC series, the drivers never get a chance to practice. So they do practice. They just don't practice on the 2 tracks that they're running tonight. So that's why they've been jumping around from track to track. Just kind of letting it kind of work its way out. But as we were talking about before, a little bit about the points tonight. Every week we've come here, or every month I should say, we've come here, we've always kind of had Chris Elliott up there in the front battling with somebody for this championship. Well, Chris Elliott's only ran 1 race so far this season. He is in the house tonight. He will be racing, but he is not in the points hunt tonight. We have Ken Huntsberry in the lead. He has 6 points over Dave Davis. He has 62 points over Larry D. Jimmy Williams has 81 points behind, and Joseph Landy Pavlon is 89. Now, we were talking about this. Larry D has a chance, albeit a slim one. But he mathematically could make it into the points. But basically, we're watching Ken Huntsberry and Dave Davis tonight to see who's going to come out with the championship tonight. I'm just reading the chats. We got Dave Johnson, and Dale Johnson, I think it is, in the chat. We have Mackenzie Weston, reminding everybody that her birthday is on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, McKenna. Well, we'll be here on Wednesday doing that TMP series.
Yeah.
So we can do that too. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. It's always cool. Got people want to interact with our little tiny show on the internet way down on the bottom level. But it's a lot of fun. So here we are.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. You and I were talking about subscribers, and then once we talked about it, the next race that we had, we mentioned it, and by the end of that race, we had 5 more subscribers, and I said, well, that's pretty cool, and tonight we've got 5 more. We only got, 100 more to go to reach that fun 500 mark. Well, if we get there, we get there, but yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is weird. Like, I hate talking about that stuff because we, these leagues pay us to do what we do. Yeah. We don't really need YouTube money, but of course that would be an added bonus. And 500 subs is where it starts. We definitely qualify with the hits, but we don't qualify because we don't have enough subs yet. So, and like I said, I hate talking about hit the thumbs up and blah 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 blah. I hate that stuff. Yeah. But it's funny when you do mention subscribing, how people are like, oh yeah, and then they click it.
Yeah.
It's just reminding people to do it. It's just, that's all it is, really. And then they go click it, and cool.
Yeah, well, got a good thing going on here. We want to keep doing it. That's all.
Yeah. Here's the schedule for the week. Upcoming live broadcasts here on Tarnation TV this week. Tomorrow we are back at live. We are back with Maverick Cup Series.
Nope,
high voltage
not here.
racing.
Next week. Yeah, next week. Not tonight. Not tomorrow.
Is it not the 31st tomorrow?
No, we do the 7th is the next one.
Oh. They got a Richmond race coming up. I got the dates wrong. Okay, we got tomorrow off. Disregard that one. We'll see you on Wednesday with TMP Racing Series, the IROC Championship Series. They do their race there at 8:15. We go live there. TMP, of course, on Thursday, Talladega Challenge, massive league over there, Rolling Thunder Gaming. And the End Gun Violence 120, ASR, Brian Wolf, and Cahoots over there on Saturday, the 6th annual Cannon Hinnant Memorial Race. That's an earlier one. I think we got it set to go live about 7. And yeah, and then the Team Elmo 200 is the Saturday after that. All these special events coming up. But yeah, I guess I should check my Maverick schedule before I start typing stuff into the schedule, into the calendar here on screen. Since apparently I didn't even realize, because I knew we had the week off there a couple weeks ago it was like Vegas had a week off, and then it was Vegas, and I didn't even realize we did that again.
It actually works out good, though, because we were talking about this and we were thinking, oh boy, we're going to have ASR on Saturday, we're going to have, Open Speedway on Monday, then we're going to have Maverick on Wednesday, Maverick on Tuesday, TMP on Wednesday, and then you, of course, would have RTG on Thursday. And I was like, boy, that's a long, not a night off at all from that. But it actually worked out a little bit better for us, just the way it, kind of played out.
Yeah, sometimes apparently sometimes I lose track. I mean, there's so much stuff. I've had to actually upgrade I bought a whiteboard for my wall to kind of keep track of everything, like when leagues start. That's the biggest thing in my head too. Is like, oh yeah, when do they qualify again? Like I can't remember, so let's just start writing it all down and trying to keep it all in order. Because when it's go time, it's we gotta go.
And now you know why it's nicer to be the co-host.
Yeah.
Go up, I do my thing, I go.
Yep.
Although Blaine will attest to you that I do a lot more work behind the scenes than I make it sound.
Yeah.
But that's basically I don't have to do half of what you do. So.
Well, and most of this stuff, I can make a template for each league. So, but yeah, on race night there always is times where you have to, update stuff like this. You got to update the points. You got to update, driver lists. Especially certain leagues use different screens for different stuff. So it's all kind of slowly formed its own little. I don't know. This it's a busy program. The broadcasting software that I'm using, all the different templates for all the different leagues, but at least it allows me to do that, which is very cool. I used to just switch it. I had one broadcast, now I just switch the logos out. But then as leagues require or request different things, like I can't do that. I have to make different templates.
You had, we're here talking a little bit, and they're doing the sprint races, and we're, obviously we're gonna, watch some of that. But that finish was pretty wild for that last one. It was about 4 or 5 cars going for it, and I'd see them make it across the line, and they were just everywhere. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah, these little shortened sprint runs are fun. It's a good way to get warmed up. Yeah. And then because in a practice session, sometimes there's nobody on the track, but when you're doing sprints, you're all there.
I think they're getting ready to rock and roll. They got it up into California, which is the original California track. They have set it up for 75 laps. 5-minute practice. So there again, that's the situation where you got to practice. They got to give them at least an opportunity to get out there and drive it, so they have a little bit of a concept of what's going on. Because I want to send them out there blind. You got what do we have here tonight? I think it was about 15 cars, if I remember right. I counted, and you don't want to have them go all barreling in the corner with no idea what they got underneath them. And it's the same with the original IROC series. They did get a few practice laps. Not a lot, just enough so they had the understanding what they had underneath them, and then they would go out there and race. So,
yeah, I mean, they should be able to figure it out. It is called the International Race of Champions for a reason. So
they didn't put you in one of these cars if you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, most of these guys know what they're doing, and I mean, California is an awesome track. But yeah, the setup's different. There could be track tweaks. So yeah, it's good to let them get out there for 5 or 10 minutes and just kind of feel it out.
I don't even know if this track even exists anymore. I know there had been talks in the last few years that they were going to knock it all down and make a short track out of it. And they were basically, they were basically,
Fontana?
Yeah, they were basically going to do is put a short track in there, and all that property they had in the background around it, they were going to sell it off for development and make a little bit of money on it. So I don't know if they had started on that yet. Not really sure. I'd have to kind of go investigate that a little bit. That made me just think of it when they went here, and I was like, oh yeah, they're going to tear this one up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess you think, like you said, with the amount of land that it occupies, you could take your entire facility and put it on the infield by going to a short track and then selling all the acreage around it.
Yep.
Wow, what a job that would be. But man,
Oh,
what
yeah.
a lot of money they could make too if they want to sell that land.
Oh yeah.
And you still have a professional, like you still have a Cup Series grade facility where, yeah, we're still hosting NASCAR races, but we're just at a, you know, like a 0.6 mile track.
I believe, I'm not sure, but I think it was going to be like either a mile or a half mile track. It wasn't going to be crazy big, you know what I mean? But it's still going to be bigger than your average short track that you go out onto on a Saturday night, on a weekly basis. Most of them around here are, like in my area, I think like the biggest one we have for a short track up here is, they're like third mile. Some of them maybe a little bit bigger. I mean, you go to Claremont was third mile from the infield, and you went 3/4 of the way out from the infield out. You go to Lee Speedway, it's third mile on the infield. So it's the same size track, but yet Lee is bigger because they're measuring it from the inside, not from the outside.
So I wonder why they would choose to get rid of California. Is it because it's so similar to like a Miami or a Michigan? Like, okay, we've already got enough of these tracks. Maybe let's go down to a 0.75 mile shorty and maybe have a unique little weird corner or something to kind of maybe set it apart from everything?
I think you would find that it is more of a situation where that the track, so like Bristol, would probably never have to worry about this because the place fills up. If they're not making enough ticket sales, they'll have a tendency to kind of say, all right, well, we're not making enough money on this. Maybe maybe we'll do something different. But logically, with me, if you're not making enough money on ticket sales and you're selling them for $100 a piece, sell them for $50 a piece. You'll get twice as many people in there. You'll get more people. You make more on your vending, but that isn't always how they think.
I always looked at going anywhere, going to a bar to watch your friends play in a band.
Yep.
When they charge like a cover charge, it's so annoying. I'm like, you want to charge me $10 to get in here? I'd have bought a plate of food. I'd have bought a beer or two. If you, like you said, if you charge $100 a seat and you're only selling half the seats, you could charge $50 a seat, sell the place out. People are coming in with an extra $50 in their pocket, and now they're buying T-shirts, they're buying food, they're spending more money because now you're in there. And once you're in there, who cares how much a hot dog costs? You're there, just buy one. Like when we went to a Jays game once there years ago, and stuff's not cheap. But who cares? I'm sitting in the Sky Dome in Toronto watching the Blue Jays beat the crap out of the Orioles, and I got a beer. It was like $11 for a tall boy. I got a hot dog. It was another $8. Two of us, it cost us $50 to get some snacks and a pint. But whatever. When do I go to baseball games? I think I've been to 2 in my whole entire life. You got to just get in the venue and do the thing. If they can get you in there, they're going to get more money out of you. That's the way I look at it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the concept. But you know what I mean? They don't look at it that way. They just more look at the the money they can be made.
Yeah, they want the big high ticket sale. I mean, in a place like you said, like maybe like Bristol, it's going to sell out regardless, just because of what it is, right? But
yeah, looks like they're getting ready for qualifying.
Drivers, to your cars.
we're
going to be
qualifying round. By the way, I guess I can chuck this up there. We got the Tarnation TV Turbo channel, secondary channel to this one. We've right now we've been doing RV there yet.
Yeah, and we haven't been much lately. But he's getting home too late or too tired, too many things to do.
No specific reason or night or anything. But if you subscribe to that channel too, sometimes we'll pop on there and maybe play some games. But you got this new thing that we're trying out, this Valheim. Valheim.
Yep.
like a little bit of a role-playing game, survival game kind of thing, kind of fun. So
Yes.
it's fairly new, but it looks really old.
Old. It's actually been around for quite a while. It's just
has it?
people just like, some people like playing it. And I mean, I've played a little bit of it. As I say, I got over 700 hours in it, but I've still not even got probably halfway through the game. And not a lot of that. We used to play it, and I didn't want to advance. Kind of the situation we are now. I don't want to advance until everybody gets there, so we can advance together. So
Right.
we just keep building, having fun, playing, whatever.
Yeah, and it wasn't an expensive thing either. It was.
Nope. I think I started building a little place for us all, and Bob started, I want to build a place. So we had to make sure we had more wood. Next thing you know, we're out of wood. And I said, you're going to have to keep doing wood. So I think something now we have probably almost 3,000 units of wood. When you get in there to start, when you get in there to start building your house, that'll be gone.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll go through it quick. They went back to practice. Okay. Not sure what that was all about. Thought they were going to do qualifying. Jason Awesome Voids says hello in the chat.
Good evening, Jason.
Say we have 16 people watching, and then all of a sudden it went up to 21 people. We got one like, which we don't worry about them too much. Still
Yeah,
forums
interaction's
around.
always neat.
Yeah.
I think I might have to reset the tickers here for a second just to make sure everything's working. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for watching. This is the end of the month. Open Speedway operates the IROC series, and the last Monday of every single month is a championship finale race. So the points you're seeing there, Huntsbury leading it, Davis in a close second, Larry D with 62 points in third. You were saying mathematically it's possible, but Huntsbury and Davis would basically have to fall off the planet.
Yeah, they'd have to get wrecked. When I went up there earlier asking questions about it, the points and stuff, and Donnie Cameron was like, "Hey, I'm taking, anybody wants to, pay me a little money, I'll take money to help you out." And I don't think anybody was really, going for it, but. But Larry D is in the chat. He was just saying, "Look, good luck to all the Open Speedway drivers, and thank you and I for doing the broadcast." We do have to find out from them because they were scheduled to do 3 of them on Monday night, and after this one, we'll have to see if they, kind of decide they want to keep us on and keep us doing this. So, you guys all there out in the wonderful, world out there, you can always just tell them, keep going. So.
Yeah, and it's neat to a lot of, not a lot, but there's a few leagues that'll do that. Like SMO does that. They get us to broadcast their big races, like season finales, special events, tribute races to the fallen members like Tedder and Hawk, and leagues like Graham McDonald and Keith Bynum over there at Primetime Racing League, where we've got some races coming up for them. 3 in a row. It's always 3 in a row. Because it's their playoff knockout round, so they have like a 3-tier, like a 3-round playoff situation. So they want to have round 1, 2, and 3 broadcast, not so much the whole entire season, but just the playoffs. And because of the knockout round, it's kind of neat. It's a neat setup there too. And but Maverick, 26 race season, they pay for all 26 races, and that's a big league. And they generate, a lot of donations to pay for broadcasts and servers. And it is kind of gnarly to think about the amount of stuff that goes into this old sim. It's pretty awesome to see how.
It's lotto qualifying tonight, so they just kind of quickly whipped through the qualifying through the happy hour. So Herb Johnson got the pole. Outside pole will be Donnie Cameron. Third is going to be Connie Darkhart. Fourth is Joe Kearns. I got fifth, but I'm not racing, so that means I think it's Williams that'll be behind me. He gets to move up. So then sixth is your points leader, Ken Huntsbury. Seventh is going to be Jim Williams. 8th, Joey Landry Pavillon. 9th is, Scott Gilliman. I had to go look his name up. I'm still getting used to the name. So 10th is DJ Johnson there. 11th is the 14. 12th is Jebro. 13 is Robert Spring. And then you got 14th out of the qualifying. Then 15th, the 7-11 of John Godfrey. 16th is Dirk Diggler. 17th is Ireland. I don't remember. I'll have to look up their first name. 18th is Chris Elliott. 19th is Jason Darkhart. 20th is Larry D. He's your third place in points. 21st is Brian Faulkner. And 22nd is Dave Davis. Dave Davis, yes. And then the last round in the field is R. Becker. So we're off the green.
Very good turnout this evening, to say that, that they run late on Mondays. It's a big night on Mondays. And to have, 20, what did you say, 22? 22 start the...
Yeah, 21
race is
cars.
pretty awesome.
21 cars out there tonight. That's pretty cool. Herb Johnson is out there in the front. Of course, he started up near the front there. He's taking the lead. Now, you're going to remember over here, they do have the low line rule. So if there's somebody behind you coming along, and they're in a position where they can possibly, be pressuring you, you have to give them the low line. It's a little weird, makes for some different strategies. We've seen some pretty cool races, just due to that. You don't necessarily want to lead, but you do, and you got to figure out your strategy. When is the time to make your move and go? As you saw there, Kearns tried to go past Irv on the bottom there, but he wasn't able to do that. Irv went to the high side, a little bit more grip up there on that high side that time through the corner, and then it didn't work out very good for Kearns.
And the low lining rule is interesting because on certain tracks it's more prominent. Like here, maybe not so much because they do sort of use this. So right, they might be down on the line there, but the low lining rule prevents you from protecting that line the entire way around the track. On a track like this, most of the lines these drivers are going to take, you're not going to occupy that bottom lane the whole way around.
Yeah. You
like
see,
right here,
Cameron,
there's tons of room, right? Like you're totally fine.
You saw Cameron there. He got the lead down in the front stretch, went into the corner, and he was getting a little bit pressure by Kearns. So he had to move up just a little bit, just enough. And of course, Kearns had a really, really good run through 1 and 2, was able to take the lead.
There's Tawny Darkhart there in the 72. Got to be relation to Jason Darkhart back there in 18th in the 70. Got the whole Darkhart squad out here.
2 Darkharts and 2 Johnsons.
Yeah. Are they running, are the Darkharts running the same color? Nope.
No.
Green
One
and blue.
One is kind of a light, not a light blue, I guess a turquoise blue, and the other one is bright green.
We could take a rip through the field there. Let's go to the back. All right, so there's Dave Davis and Chris Elliott. Wait, where's Chris Elliott? Is he gone? Oh, he's back there. Chris Elliott.
He's kind of got almost an off orange kind of color on his.
We got Mike Ireland back there.
Ooh.
Dave Davis.
Johnson kind of got a little. Whoa, we got a wreck on the back stretch. We got one over. It all started. I think it was the 30.
And the 03 got some roof damage. We're going to rewind this here and check it out.
Robert Spring got some damage out of that. His car is coming out.
Oh, yeah. Jebro and...
30 was the other one I saw. Was Jedbro. Sorry, that wasn't the 30. It was the 03. Basically, he was on the high side, and it almost looked like Irv got just a little bit loose, had to chase it up the track. And that little bit of, up the track was, there, Jebro was right there. And they just clipped just ever so slightly that caused him to hit the wall. And then he just lost control of it right out in front of Robert Spring and John Godfrey. Spring went for a heck of a ride.
The way that car bounces is wild. It just looked kind of different the way it kind of bounced around. But yeah, major roof damage on that one. John
Jeb Bros,
Godfrey.
yeah. Now, that question is that a aerodynamic disadvantage or is that an aerodynamic advantage? That roof being
Yeah,
lower
sometimes.
might put more aero down on the spoiler. It may make it a little more aerodynamic. Then again, it might not. It might become a parachute.
Yeah. So
What
to
it's
the
like
pits,
pulling
so
out
they
at
don't-
Talladega, when you pull out by yourself, we'll see that in the next track when they pull out there by themselves. All of a sudden they go, poof, slow right down.
Yeah, you need buddies on that track. And they're using a custom textured version of Talladega to be open, they're going to call it Open Speedway. So, from what I understand, it's actually a retextured version of Talladega version, or RTG version 4, which is the one with the wider pit road. So, this is the first modification we've seen of that arrangement because that track's brand new.
Yep,
RTG is the
very.
only league that's been running it.
Well, ASR has been running it on Saturdays, but
Unmodified.
at least they're unmodified version of it. Yep.
Yeah. So it's the first time it's actually been customized. And all these track creators, Talladega is still from the base game, but it's been retextured many times and modified here and there. But it's
This
neat
track-
to see the track builders and stuff all working with each other, being like, hey, man, can I change this? Can I do this? Can I take your track and retexture that?
I think Godfrey's modified that track. He's on version 4, so
Yeah.
not necessarily has he modified it only 4 times. He's on version 4 of his modifications, but he's also modified it for different leagues. So it was still basically version 3 or version 2, whatever it was. He just put the Tarnation TV logos on there. Primetime's got their own. Talladega Nights had their own. It was kind of cool.
Screwdrivers.
Yep, Burnt Screwdrivers was the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Looks like we got Brian Wolf in the house.
Irv is coming back in.
Pumpkin there. Bob Sire's in there.
I finally got Pumpkin's truck done.
Nice.
Skulls. I love Bob when he requests me to paint a vehicle for him, a car or a truck, whatever. It's like, what do you want it to be? It's like, Harley Davidson. I'm like, okay, that's got skulls on it. And he wants skulls. So it's always fun painting that stuff up because I'm into horror movies and stuff, and I can always find pictures of cool skulls and stuff. The only one I did for him that actually didn't have any skulls on it was the army car. And that was a really cool one. It was a custom paint job running off the Army. I can't remember who drove it. It's you've seen it before, but changed the camo pattern. I believe I can't remember if it was a nephew. It was a family member of his. He'll do it in the YouTube chat. He'll let me know. A family member was in the service, and he wanted the camo pattern from that Army car changed to the camo pattern that he used in his division. And so all the stuff it's the same style, but it was customized. It was a neat request because then it's like, okay, cool. Because now you're going to take something that's like a classic paint job, and then you're going to mimic it, but you're going to switch it to personalize it. So it's kind of a neat little way around it. His nephew. Yeah, there it is. Alan. Oh yeah, it was the Alan Kowicki Army car, and it was Bob's nephew.
Oh, cool.
So that was a cool one. Yeah, I got the pictures of the Kowicki car, designed it, and then went over it with the different camo patterns and patches and all that stuff.
So the lights are off on the pace car. Ken Hunksbury's out there in the end front. Then you got Dave Davis behind him. So you have I haven't got the GNL TV up and running yet, so I don't know. Did Ken Huntsbury and Dave Davis actually pit, or did they stay out to try to see if they can get out, lead that lap, maybe get a little extra?
Excellent question, Rod. Those two cars, the only two cars that did not pit.
Okay. I figured that.
Yeah, Landy Pavlon, Gilliman, Cameron, Ireland, D, Becker, Johnston, Jebro, Digler, Darkheart, Kearns, Faulkner, Williams, all of them. I could go through the whole list. But everybody pitted at least once. Some of these guys actually went down twice. Like I just said, Jim Williams, he went down twice. Curtins went down twice. And Diggler went down twice, and Jason Darkhart went down twice. So I'm guessing that's just topping up fuel.
Yeah, I would guess, looking in there, they can only do roughly somewhere around 17, 18 laps. I think
Do they run
3X?
Yeah.
I believe they might be running 3X tonight. So kind of surprising that, they stayed out, but there again, Ken Hunksbury's got, the 5 bonus points. So now he's, 11 points in the lead. So that just kind of makes it a little better for him. But there again, Dave Davis is right behind him. Remember, they can't low line. So once they get up to speed, Dave Davis will probably see what he can do, try to get that momentum, get by him, see if he can get those 5 bonus points himself. Heads right to the bottom as soon as he gets past the start-finish line. He can't pass until you get there.
Yeah, Dave has not led a lap yet, so looks like he might be doing it on this lap.
Landy Pavillon right behind him, and then Gilliman behind him. He may not do it because Pavillon's got help behind him. Man, this is one of big enough tracks where drafting does come into play. You can see right there, Pavillon and Gilliman. Gilliman just went rolling right by him because he didn't have any help behind him. Looks like Cameron's coming right behind him as well. Gonna have to use a little different strategy to try to get out there. You can't, it's hard to do the strategy the way they do with the no low line rule. You really got to kind of figure out how you're going to do it. How you're going to use that to get by. We saw it. What was the last track we ran? It was pretty cool how they were able to do that. It might be a little different here, so they're all out there trying to figure out what they can do and when to time it. When's the right time to make that move? And you'll see a lot of them do it now. Why? They want to see if it works. And then when they do, then they'll know exactly when they have to do that. Then again, when you got 15 other drivers that are trying to do the same thing, it doesn't always work that way either.
Yeah, and this, like I said, this track's cool because, I guess you're not really going to run the high line all the way around. That's not efficient, but I always was a little iffy on the no low line rule, but I understand now how it works. It does add a different spin to it,
Very different.
Yeah.
There goes
you
Davis.
have to allow.
Making a really good move going into turn 3 on the bottom. So Pavillon is high on the high side. Davis on the bottom is going to get that better run off. The question is, you got Cameron come up behind him. Does Cameron go with Pavillon or does he go with Davis?
You could almost slingshot him, yeah. There it goes right there.
Was able to lead that lap. So I think you'll see Davis let him go. Probably tuck in behind him. Just try to race a little bit smart because all he's got to do, really, he's just got to, he's back to 6 points behind. He's got to beat Hunksbury by, just a few. The further he does it, obviously, the better. But he's got 2 races in which he's got to stay ahead of him.
Right, because this is doubleheader. These are both points races now. So we go to Talladega next. Once this race is complete here in the next, 10 or so laps, 15 laps, 17 laps. Yeah, you got to have 2 really good. He's got to have 2 really good finishes.
See, you saw Hunksbury. He kind of went out there. He led that lap. He just kind of pulled back. Now it's time. Remember, they did not get fuel or tires. So 2 things: the tires could be falling off a little. You know what I mean? But he's also kind of has to be concerned a little bit about fuel mileage. Granted, if they have to pit, Davis and him will probably end up having to pit together. But the other guys can go 9 laps further. So I don't remember. You could probably get in and out quick enough. You may just about lose a lap or pretty close to it. And obviously you don't want that to happen either.
Yeah, but being off the cycle is a smart move too. If they happen to have green flag pit stops, then that can really come into play later in the race.
Yep, absolutely.
You'll be, like you said, it's like a 9 lap difference. So okay, everybody's racing, and then they just kind of peel off, or a couple of them have to peel off, and then let everybody else deal with their stuff in a big pack. We got 3 wide racing back here.
I was just gonna say that.
Who's drifting up?
That's Jebro. He's off the pace there a little bit, but Chris Elliott. I went back and I was watching Ken Hunksbury just for a little bit, just kind of see what him and Dave Davis were doing, and they're doing exactly what I said that they were going to do. They just kind of drop back, trying to stay out of trouble. Chris Elliott went in there and made it 3 wide. He got up behind Gillowell and he just gave him a shot, and then it pushed them 2 right out by him.
Larry D, there's Digler, Pavlon. They're all right on top of each other. They're 3 wide here, sometimes almost 4 wide. This is the front row.
Yeah.
Larry D getting out there now.
Wait, because we're in for a whole different treat, because, they're 3 wide now. They're going to be 3 wide in the next track, and it's going to be a lot more exciting. Actually, this is pretty exciting. It's after as many times as we've broadcasted the version of Talladega or the Open Speedway, it's impressed me, how they go 3 wide as long as they do, and these guys have practiced it, I bet, a little bit, but they've done a little practice. Just they want to make sure that it's going to be they got to make a setup. They got to make sure it's going to work out. They assured me that they had done a little practice. It's going to make for a good race. We already know that because it's a great track. Just depends literally on what setup they have got in there. It'd be the biggest thing, because if it's too tight off a turn 2 on the bottom, that can make it for a little troublesome. But we'll see how that works out.
Just got it locked on Larry D here in about the 3rd or 2nd place.
See, when the people are getting together there and drafting with each other, Larry D got tagged. If he came down or...
Yellow flag is up for that. So that throws a little bit of a wrench into that pit stuff we were talking about, as was tradition. Of course, I'm guessing everybody's probably coming down now. Well, you never know, though, because it's about the same distance that we went in the initial shot there. So, I mean, maybe, like you're saying, Huntsbury and...
Hard to say on that.
Who was it? Was it Davis? They would probably come down, but then everybody else, maybe there's some guys who decide to stay out.
But that's still a good strategy for them, too. Mm-hmm. Just because. But it looked to me, I was watching to see kind of what happened there. Dirk Diggler in the 33 was just underneath Larry D, and I just think they both kind of turned to occupy that same spot at the same time. And unfortunately for Larry, it turned him.
Yeah, and they were about 3 wide when that happened, too, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, right. Then the 70 of Jason Dockhart got into Kearns, or they came together. I mean, I don't think anybody got into anybody, but he actually held on to it.
Oh, yeah, they just had a little fender bender there. Everybody coming down pit road except for the pink car. I'm trying to remember who's in the pink car. Robert Spring stayed. Oh, all right, that's DJ. DJ stayed out, so he got his lap led. Looking in the chat there, Deeb0218, it says, crazy this game is still going on. I remember going to Best Buy to buy it in 2003. I remember going to the local mall at the computer store in 2002, December 14th was its release date.
You remember the actual day? I was there on the 14th getting it for Christmas.
I had bought 2 copies. Nope, we were running 2002, and when it said they're coming out, we pre-ordered it.
Nice. I can't remember where I bought it. I have the game box right behind me, and the CD-ROM, and the manual, and everything. I'm thinking, it might even have the sticker on it. Wait, let me see.
Some came with diecast. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 99, 2002, 2003. Larry D's came in and out of the pits. His car don't look too bad. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it doesn't look too bad, so it might be all right.
No, this game box is still in mint condition, but yeah, it doesn't have the logo or sticker from where I bought it. And NASCAR Racing 4 has a sticker stuck to it, but it also doesn't say what store it was from. I'm guessing it's probably from Willow Video Games, because I remember that. was a place I used to go to all the time.
Amazing how this game is still going strong. But, you know, as we always talk about it, a lot of it has to do with the guys like John Godfrey that, you know, that gets into these tracks and makes them interesting. And the guys that have made the new, you know, Project Wildfire made the Cup. They went from Cup, they had the trucks, they had the, you know, the Bush cars, and they added the Trans Am series. So from those different mods, people have just gone crazy and made different mods and different ones. So, you know, you've got the latest Minsk Cup, you know, the year that they ran the Minsk Cup cars. There's actually ones out there that are kind of like the cars that they run now.
There's a Next Gen 7 mod. It's what's the name of the group that made that? FDRD.
Looks like Robert Spring stayed out to the first time around. What was it? DJ stayed out and led a lap. Robert Spring stayed out to lead a lap. Even though he's not in the points, that's just one of those things that's ingrained to everybody that races.
Yeah. Jonathan Cadell is working with someone. Yeah, that Pumpkin's talking about that in the YouTube chat. That thing is insane. I'm following that Jonathan Cadell guy. He's come up with a new ticker. He's got telemetry. He's got track maps. He's putting everything on top of this game. It's wild.
That's the one you sent me pictures and videos and stuff of? Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because the ticker we're seeing now is run off of a software called Apache, which is like a local hosted internet thing that is able to pull information in conjunction with GNL TV, created by Peter Dicken. Pulls the information out of the game and then feeds it into Apache so it can display it in a web page format. And then we're able to take that web page and put it in there as a ticker, and it refreshes every 7 or 8 seconds.
In other words,
this guy scrapped that, and he went with Python, which is, I think it's Python, which is totally way more advanced software. It's much newer, much more modern, and it's instantaneous. And when cars pass other cars, they flash green and red, and they switch positions just like they do in real life. And I'm looking at this video this guy posted. I'm going, there's no way. Like,
that's going to be
once
awesome when you get that.
he releases this, it's a 100% we're going to start testing it here at Tarnation TV. Yeah. Because to see a ticker on a game this old is pretty sweet. Like the one we're looking at right now is awesome. That's why I switched it to a vertical. You can see every driver all the time. I had to tweak it to make it transparent after a couple of weeks. I did that. But this new thing being like real-time positions when cars change spots. Now, I don't know if it works if I'm not driving.
Right.
Because a lot of the stuff that this guy's creating is, like Bob mentioned, is for like overlays for when you're driving. So you come down the pits and it's 55. And once you hit 56, it starts to beep and flash red at you. You know, pedal inputs, brake and throttle inputs, in real-time gauges and metering and stuff. It's all very cool looking on the screen, but that won't work where we're sitting. But I believe the ticker will.
Pace car makes a trip down pit road. Jim Williams in the lead. I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, Jim Williams right behind him. We've got Rick Becker. And Brad Faulkner there in the 24.
There you go. Becker, that's what I was trying to find. Hit the button and it went right to the pace car, and I'm like,
Joseph Landy Pavla in there and Mike Ireland right behind him.
You would think we would know these guys by that, but we only do them once a month, and the amount of broadcasts we do, it's sometimes hard to kind of keep track of which car, who is driving what, where, when, and how. So, well,
we know a lot of these guys, but because it's an IROC race, it's like totally different paint jobs. Sometimes they don't get to keep their numbers. Like Pavlon's got his old number, so does Faulkner, but it's but a lot of people keeping this sim alive. One of the best NASCAR simulators ever made, and with a dedicated people, especially with all the new guys, you know, like we were all there to buy the game brand new week 1, but you've got guys playing this now and they're in their 20s. Well, that means this thing came out when they were like 3. So, but then they're the ones who have all the advanced knowledge of the programming stuff. Like the dude, this Jonathan Claudel guy, he's probably a younger dude. So he's into the different technology and wants to tear apart old games and take a look inside them, and he's able to provide us with all this cool stuff. So
Brian Faulkner is back out front. He is your last season's champion.
Oh,
last month's champion.
Last month, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got worked his way up front, and now he's got a pretty good lead on the guys. Not too bad, but nobody's really been able to kind of get up to him. Too busy running side by side behind him, so it's pretty good advantage there. But
so much action going on out here. I don't know where to put the camera, so I'm trying my best.
A lot of things happening all at once. Soccer's been out there for the longest that we've had anybody out there for a period of time. They change positions so much in the front like that. But we're getting down to it. We've got like 4 laps to go when we hit the line here. We already hit the line, so we got like 4 laps. We're going to be 3 when we hit the line. Now it's time. Everybody's trying to all that practicing they did to try to get set up for get that last lap pass for the lead. Jim Williams looks like a little tight off before there, but trying to get set up for that so they can make their pass at the right time to be able to hold the lead.
I didn't see who went around back there. That's the cause for the caution. The rider along with Joseph Landy Pavlon, and somebody behind spun out.
I wonder if this is going to be the race. It's going to hit the line.
Was it Davis?
It'll be close. They make it a...
No, it was Decker. Okay, wait. It was Becker. Unfortunately, Rick Becker, the 070. So Davis got underneath them. Didn't even look like they touched. Might have been an internet deal. That's too bad. That brings up the yellow there.
Interesting to see. Don't know if they have admin controls of this, at all either, too. I don't know remember how they do that, but...
Mm-hmm. Some leagues do, yeah. They're able to throw the green earlier. The lights might go out right now.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If they have control of it, they would shut it. That's what I would do. I would, do it there. Lights are still on the pace cars, so...
Yeah, and on the side of the track, too, so they are going to go at least one more. They wouldn't put them out right now. They want to allow people to... Oh, no, lights are off.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
They were just probably confirming, is anybody pitting? And they're probably like, nope. So they shut lights off. Green, white, checker, yep.
Green, white, checker, that's awesome. Pumpkin just said they can short the yellow, so they do have control of that. Brian Faulkner out in the front there, Ireland in second. Williams third. Fourth is Kearns. So out of those drivers, you talk about, you look back further, you got Cameron back there, you got Elliott back there, you got any one of these drivers that could make the move. You got Dave Davis. Dave Davis is currently in the 7th position. Hunksbury's back in 13th. Now, there's not a lot of time to do it, but they can possibly, work their way up through there and still win this from that far back. You just got to get your timing right and get that slingshot going. Slingshot engaged, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know really. Sometimes it's so crazy out here. I don't know where to put the camera because these guys are going 3 wide. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely wide enough track. We could go 8 wide if they really wanted to, I think. But
pace car makes the trip down pit road. See if Faulkner gets a really good launch.
Yeah, these guys are on him. They want him not to get a good launch. Yep, there he
goes. He got a great shot off that.
Mike Ireland right behind him. Jim Williams right behind Mike.
Looks like someone back there just got a little out of shape and down low.
A little squirrely.
Oh, when the last lap comes around, so this lap, I don't think they can block. I don't know if I remember if it was 2 or 1 to go. Ooh! Williams got in the back of Ireland, and it didn't work out well for him.
That's what we call leaning on the guy beside you.
Leaning on him, but it didn't work out for him.
No.
So
it's Kearns in the orange car, Mike Island in the green kind of car there, and then the black
white
car,
flag.
the 24. Yep.
Now Faulkner can run all the way down to the bottom if he wants. Now in the last lap, that rule does not apply. Gets in the corner a little hot. Ireland gets down underneath him, gives him a little bit of nudge. But that slows them both down. Here comes Kearns as a spinner in the background.
Faulkner tried to push Ireland away.
Pushing Ireland, but now he's got the run on the bottom.
Caution's out, but that's irrelevant.
Ireland on the high side. Kearns going low. Dave Davis back there in about the 5th position. We told you they'd be coming up there. Looks like Avalon's gonna win it.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Wow, that changed.
Dave Davis, he finished back there in the, was he back in the 5th or?
Looked like
third, fourth. He got 5th.
He got 5th, yeah.
Huntsbury, I believe.
The 55 of Huntsbury finished in 10th.
It's going to tighten up the points a little bit. And mind you, anything we say here is unofficial. Because after this race, they will go through everything and they will decide whether or not they get that win or not. But, you know, that was a wild finish. Avalon was, I don't remember where he was back at the start of that, but he was quite a ways back.
It changed a lot because, you know, you had Davis up there, Williams up there, and it all starts getting messed up. But yeah, it's great racing. Especially the block. Like Faulkner blocked or tried to block, and he ended up in 12th. So he went from 1st to 12th in one lap.
Josh too in the chat says he can't believe that the 24 gave the bottom there, and I think he just pushed up. But it looked to me like he pushed up. But yeah, I wouldn't have given him the bottom. You know, I would have made that thing as wide as you could possibly do, but I like that. Right to victory lane, right in the middle of the victory lane they have on the infield there. That's pretty cool. Avalon did a good job there, so he's done doing his burnouts. Let's see if we can grab him and have a chat with him. Joseph Lindy Pavalon, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Good move, buddy. Nice run there. Came from nowhere.
I can't believe I thought that I was going to win this race when I fell back to 6th on the final restart. I thought I was done for.
Yeah, and you just make it a heck of a shot on it there. Coming in tonight you were, 5th in points, but, a fairly decent amount back with Dave Davis finishing in 5th and Ken Hunksbury finishing in, 10th. Yeah, you made up a bit of ground on him, but, it might be an impossible task. But, you're pretty familiar with super speedway racing. Is that one of your good points? Or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think of the 6 times that I've won an open speedway this month, 5 of them have come at Daytona or Talladega. I think all of them were Dega.
Very nice, very nice. So, you got a chance and an opportunity. Larry D didn't have the greatest of races tonight as well, finishing back in the 16th spot. So, that, all in all, you still mathematically could potentially do it. You just got to go out there and win and hope them other guys that are, a bit further ahead of you in points have kind of a crappy night, but still not bad.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. This race was pretty much what I needed, at least something half of this good a week ago. In those last 2 races, I just couldn't catch a break then, but we'll see what happens. I'm just having fun. So that's enough to keep me happy, keep me racing.
Right. Well, so now you got to start doing this on Tuesday nights, winning,
Yeah, I hope so. Hope my luck turns around there.
You never know there, but well, congratulations on your win. Don't know if you're going to get a chance to come up here later on, so we'll give you the opportunity to, unless Blaine has a question for you.
Oh, no, man, let it rip. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, awesome race. It's such a great track. It's so wide, and I didn't think I would be a fan of the no low line rule, but, man, it makes for some cool racing.
I will say it does allow me to strategize how I approach the bottom. Like I kind of get myself ready for that last lap by positioning myself well, and then that way, and then the last lap I could just hang on to the bottom. But I don't want to give up on my deck of cards here, so I want to thank everyone that supports me and Dom
Go
and
for
GLP
it.
Racing.
Thank anybody you want to thank before we get you back out there so you can get some practice in.
I just want to thank everyone that supports me. Salma JLP Racing, FAU, Go Owls. I'm just excited to be in Victory Lane and hopefully be back here later tonight.
That would be awesome. Well, congratulations on the win. Good luck. Go get them. Go get them points, buddy. Go get that championship. If it's possible, go do it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you. That was quite the finish, really.
Yeah.
I don't have Derek Baylor's car, I just realized, but I loaded the cars earlier, but I don't have that one. Doesn't matter. It looks pretty good. Avalon's back out there on the track. They're out there for practice. They got about 5 minutes of practice just trying to get used to it. Then it'll be random qualifying, and then they'll be off racing. And this is the one I'm looking forward to watch these guys 3 wide all the time out here tonight. This track is pretty cool.
What am I doing here? What am I doing wrong? There it goes. Yeah, this, especially with a shortened field, like we're used to calling this thing when there's 40 guys on the track. And this little 20, 25 car pack, it's going to be a little bit more aggressive, I think, because there's just that much more room, because when you're bump drafting out here at Talladega, if there's 40 cars out there, you're not really doing it too aggressively because the tidal wave it sends through the field, right? It just amplifies the farther through the field it goes. But when there's half that, it can get pretty crazy.
Yeah, it could be interesting too.
I can't load the track. Maybe I didn't install it.
Might want to do that.
I did install it. You know what it is? It was an EXE. I don't like those.
Huh.
That's probably why. It was an EXE, so it probably went to the wrong folder. And now a word from our sponsor. As I do the computer stuff. So this is called Open, right?
Open Night.
Oh, it's the night. Okay. That makes sense. Because I got the day version.
Yep.
Good thing I'm prepared.
All right, so that's very cool. Ralph, the guy that keeps track of the points and all that stuff, just let us know that Dave is leading the points. Dave Davis is leading the points, 15 over Ken Hunksbury. So I want to know I want to know how that last race helped out Joseph Landy Pavlon, because it'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know if mathematically he has an opportunity or not. We don't know, but it'd be kind of interesting to see. Could he do it?
Yeah, that is. See, that's the thing with the doubleheader. Now he's got to have another good race.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me pull up something here. I think I can pull up like an old export.
Mm-hmm. I did have Open Night. Oh, I see what I did.
Fire the handicap, I tell you.
Yeah, it's it'll be all right. I downloaded them, but then I only installed the one. I installed the wrong one, is what I did. This is what a track tour looks like when you don't have the track. That's the one thing about this old thing. Old computer games are cool when you mod them because you need to know some stuff.
So you get 175 points for winning the race. All right. Obviously, you're going to get 180 points because you have to lead a lap, so that'd be 180 points for winning. If you lead the most laps, you can get 185, which I don't believe Joseph led. I think Brian probably Faulkner had the most laps led on that. I'm not 100% sure. So and then it just kind of drops from 5 points down from that point until you get, I think it's about 6th place, and then it starts dropping from there like 1 point. So 2 points or 3. I think it's 4 points. So at 3 points, then it goes down to 3 and whatnot. So with Hunksbury back there in 10th, Davis back in 5th, it's probably mathematically not going to happen, but who knows?
It'll be close one, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So Ralph is cutting back to us. Pavlon is in 3rd, 58 points back. He was 5th. What did I say? 80-something? 89 points back? One race, he's made up that much. Can he make it up this time? I think them other guys would have to have a bad, really, really bad race, be knocked out, relatively early. But that's still, that's a good charge. And if he can do well in the next race, it'd be fine.
So here we are. We're taking a look at the retexture job here. Open Speedway, you got their own little victory lane and whatever.
All right, so you're gonna like this. This is awesome. I got to go through the qualifying. Your pole starting car for tonight, the 31 of Rod Weston.
Nice.
I got the pole. Beat you again. Now, so basically, yeah. So basically, the 15 of Gilliman is going to be on outside pole. Inside pole, it's going to be easier to just go down the number. 3rd is DJ. 4th is that Blaine Donnellan guy. He'll be not joining the race tonight. 5th is Jedbro. 6th is Ireland. 7th is the 14. 8th is Dirk Digler. 9th is EJ Ayer Johnson. 10th is Brian Faulkner. 11th, John Godfrey. He had that big crash in the early one, first one there. 11th is Connie Dockhart. 13th is Joe Kearns. 14th is Jason Dockhart. 15th is Josie Landy Pavlon, your last race winner. Dave Davis starts in the 16th. Art Becker starts in the 17th. Cameron Donnie starts in the 18th position. Chris Elliott is going to be in the 19th. Robert Spring will be 20th. Kent Hunksbury is 21st. Larry D will be 22nd. And starting shotgun on the field is Jim Williams.
This is cool. Like, I'm just checking out the billboards here. Donnie Cameron's NASCAR Racing Paints. Of course, there's a Jergens ad.
Yeah.
And then that's a cool one there. I like that one. In memory of Trying Harder and Desperado, 2 originals that may be gone but not forgotten. So they're honoring a couple of fallen members here at Open Speedway. That's cool.
Very cool.
And their car renders look like they're in the Hall of Fame. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, and they look like they kept the same wall style that they have at Primetime. They got the red, white, and blue. But all the logos on the field.
He probably took Primetime's track, widened the front stretch, and, threw their logos on it.
See, is this a wider pit road? I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Is it?
But
Oh, it is.
That's the way they were talking. It was the pace car makes the trip down pit road, and the guys are getting antsy, but you can't do that quite yet. Hey, start-finish line is not in the middle of the corner. It's all the way down at the end of pit road.
Yeah.
Pretty familiar with that.
Yeah. Talladega, they don't change that. That's what makes Talladega unique.
Well, it's funny. We had Irv Johnson on the pole last time. This time we have DJ Johnson. DJ's on the pole. So I'm gonna have to say I don't like the camera angles on this one. I would have changed them if I'd have known.
Oh yes. Yeah, they're going to be different.
A little bit different.
This is a Talladega. I'm not going to be used to the camera angles. I forgot to change the cam file. Yep. Oh, there's a one right on the ground, yeah.
Woo! It goes. That's great though. The great thing about it is no line rule. What's the best line in this track? The middle.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't say, you know, we can't do that if you're running the middle. That's the best groove in this track.
Yep, you can run the middle all day long.
But we've seen it in race here, and done enough broadcasting, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is that the middle line is usually the faster way around. But if you get enough cars on the bottom, you can overtake on the bottom, you know, if you get enough guys down there with the momentum. But if you get a third line going, there again, remember, this all depends on the setup that they're running as well. That third line can stall the middle line and makes the bottom line faster. But, you know, figure that all out. Middle's the fastest way, but if you get cars on either side of them, it stalls the middle. Crazy, and it's awesome.
And it's weird. You come here a lot, and sometimes the races are so different.
It's really cool to see the IROC cars here. I mean, we've seen everything else, but, you know, Gilliman got out there in that high groove, and middle groove kind of sort of, and took over the lead. Should be leading by the start-finish line. Ireland took a little look out there on the high side out there. He's got Dirk Diggler right behind him. See Brian Faulkner behind him. Kind of bone. They're trying to figure out where they want to go in the middle of them there, but they weren't quite room enough. A couple of cars got a little bit of jiggly-wiggly going on there, so I think Brian decided that, no, not the time to do that. And look at that, folks. It didn't take but, what, 3 laps, 3 wide. Gotta love this track. Gilliman's winning the high side.
Helicopter view will give you a good shot of that.
Now the thing of it is up front. Now there's a question. You know, they have a low line rule, but you know, the thing about here is you'll see drivers that are up in the front that they will go low, high. They'll go wherever the momentum is coming to try to get that lap lead or get out front.
Yeah, they'll kind of just read it and manipulate that like the whole race. It's just trying to figure out what line to be in. Like right there, that middle line now doesn't have a lot of cars in it.
Well, the biggest problem you have, like we said before, that middle line's the best groove to go around here until you get somebody in the third line. Then it stalls that middle line out. So, kind of weird how it works, but that's how it works on this track, and it's pretty cool. Granted, there's a few differences too. These guys are running the GNS physics. We haven't seen anybody run GNS physics on this track yet. So, you know, that's going to play a little bit of difference into it. There's not going to be as much power. Probably the what we call the suck up. You know, when you get behind somebody, it's probably not going to suck up as fast as it would, you know, if it was like a cup car or the trucks. The trucks definitely, truck physics really suck up. That's why a lot of the people out there will run them, you know, if they're running the men's cup, they'll run it in the truck physics because you get behind somebody, it sucks up really quick and really easy. Cup cars don't do it as, you know, it takes a little bit more to do that, and I believe you'll see with the GNS physics in these cars, they'll have that same problem.
Yeah, and they're not, you can see here down the back straightaway into turn 3, they're only doing 190 in the draft, which would be about 202 in the CTS physics.
Thing here, you know, we've seen with the truck physics too, you know, if you get in a situation where you may have to lift a little bit, it doesn't take you long to get caught right back up. With these cars here being a little bit low powered, I think you'll find out that, you know, if they have to do that lift, it's going to take them a lot more to get back caught up behind that rear bumper and start giving them a shot. We haven't really seen any bump drafting yet either.
No.
You know, a lot of the guys would, you know, the tracks the groups where we see run this track all the time, we really see some really aggressive bump. Oh, juice.
That's
Pavilon.
a bump, for sure. Bump draft, bump over the wall.
That was Pavilon. A bump just kind of gone wrong, but what a save. Lost a little momentum, and you can see how, like we were talking about that a minute ago, how he does not have that power. Oops, somebody's around.
Chris Elliott out front leading this thing.
We have
yellow up.
Dave Davis is involved. Jason Darkart is involved. And Donnie Cameron. That's the one I saw spinning. 3 cars involved in that situation. Didn't see what happened. I'm going to try to go back and see if I can tell you what happened. I'm sure you're going to go looking for it too, but...
Yep. There they come to the pace car there. see if we can
I
find it
would
here.
say what I'm going to tell you what happened there is one of the cars I saw having a little bit of a connection issue was Larry D. He was in the middle, and it kind of looked to me, that's mind you, that's from my view, it almost looked to me like he just had a little bit of a internet latency, and that latency got into the side of Cameron's car and spun him around.
Okay, I'll focus on D.
Ooh, it's not good for Davis, though. Dave Davis's left rear tire is not under the fender anymore. He's got a pretty good amount of damage on that driver's side rear. But I don't know if they're running moderate damage and stuff, but so we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, he'll come down pit road. We'll see how well they fix that up. Get a little hammer to it, maybe some Barabon, and he'll get that thing, that 100-mile tape on there, and she'll get back singing again. And with these cars here, we see it with the truck physics. Even we've seen cars that have got damage in the back still been able to be competitive. They're not going to pull out. They're not going to lead, but if they got a car in front of them or behind them, they are able, to stay with the pack. So it'd be interesting to see with the GNS physics whether or not does it have enough to keep, is it going to give them enough power to be able to stay in a pack if they've got that, amount of damage on them.
Wow, they got this camera up in the sky and I can't control it. I'm trying to get the drone down. Whoa. That is weird. They had it up in the sky there. It's wobbly. That's strange.
It's kind of focusing on Dave Davis's car. He is changing 4 tires.
There we go. It's tilted. That's why it was uncontrollable. Yeah, this camera pack's different. So the cameras are in different spots. I can only control pit lane 1 and pit lane 2 cameras, and then, of course, the car cameras as well. I like to have a pit entrance camera because that's a pretty important part of Talladega. So that's where I'm putting that one. Pit lane 1 is over here for some reason.
After 4 tires and fuel, a little bit of damage repair. The car doesn't look too bad. So they pounded it out pretty good. We'll just have to see if that becomes, an aerodynamic disadvantage like a parachute, or whether or not he can just keep it going straight. It's a, kind of a bad hit for him. Obviously, in that all of that, we're busy kind of checking up on the incident there. Ken Huntsberry was able to lead that last lap. So there's 5 more points that he's got. And what did he say? So now it's a 10-point lead for Davis.
So that's very interesting. So behind the scenes, they can crunch those numbers pretty quick. But to get us that information that quick, that's still pending a review, though.
That's correct.
So we're just going, okay, this is how it finished. This is what it is. And I mean, we watched that race. I don't think there's anything wrong with how that finished. But they could go back and find something, and that could change.
Absolutely. And so, like the last month we did, Faulkner was the champion and ended up becoming was the champion, but we didn't know. Same thing the first time Ricky Kay, who's not here tonight, surprisingly. He got the championship there, and we did the interview with him as a champion, but like he adamantly said, I don't know, there was some stuff out there, I don't know. Nobody knows, until they get done with their review afterwards to whether or not he's actually going to be declared the champion. But in our eyes, when we get done tonight, that's what we're going to do. That's how far it goes, and they'll take care of the rest of it later on. Davis comes back down pit road, gets some more fuel. Curious to see what they're running for. We didn't check that out. I should have looked to see what they're running for, what pit X they're running, because I went in and it says they can do 59 laps on fuel. So.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
And it's only a 25 lap race. So tires, if it's tires aren't normally that important here. Bear in mind, these guys, it's the first time they're running this version of the track. So, it's going to take them a little while to get used to the fact of, what the tire wear is, or, whether they need to change tires or not. In a 25 lap race, tires aren't going to be an issue. It's only going to be about fuel. Although, have you ever run a 4X race on here? I would wonder how that would work out.
4X would be something else, eh? Like
Yeah,
that would end quick. Well, not. I
Well,
mean,
you'd be hitting-
how many laps? Like every 5 laps, you'd have to pit. I would think.
I would think you with at 2X, they average with the truck physics, mind you, they do about 19 laps. At 19 to 20 laps, literally depending on where you are position wise. As far as it goes, if you're the guy up front and you're pushing all the air, you don't get as well a good fuel mileage. But if you were imagine this, if you were to do a 4X race here. Yeah, you're right. I think, that's 2X is 19. I think you'd probably be 8, maybe lap 8, lap 9. Have to come in and pit for fuel, possibly even tires.
Every 9 laps, yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. It'd definitely be exciting if it stayed green. 1 lap to go until we go back green again. Lights just went out on the pace car.
So let's see just to kind of get an idea, where are our points guys? Tewksbury stayed out late a lap, but he also after that went out and pitted, so he's in the 9th position. Avalon, which mathematically still has that opportunity, he's back in the 8th position. And Dave Davis is back in 11th, so not too far from each other. Dave Davis, hopefully, if he's got a strong enough car to keep going, with going into this with a 10-point lead, if he can just keep right behind Hunksbury, I think he would. There's not much he can do, as long as he finishes right behind him. Your racers don't want to do that. They want to out there front out leading, but. If you want that championship, sometimes when it gets down to a situation like this, especially where you've gotten damage, and if you finish right behind him, you beat him. So, you know what I mean? Just get there, tuck up on his rear bumper, and just follow him.
But it all can change so fast here at Talladega too, right? I mean,
absolutely. Went first in that 8 laps, caution free. So.
Yep. Led by Chris Elliott here still. About to lead his 4th lap of the night. Didn't fare too well in race number 1, but here we are, race number 2, and Elliott's right up front where he needs to be. And if any brouhaha should occur, he's in front of it.
Brian Faulkner behind him, Ireland behind him, Kern, 14. I'm trying to remember what that color that car was, but good launch by Elliott. Irv back there. 6 spot.
Oh, Irv in the yellow car. Yeah, Irv Johnson.
Still trying to get used to the colors. They stay the same, but we only do this once a month, so it makes it a little bit harder. Elliott up in the middle groove there is going to probably get overtaken by Brian Faulkner and Ireland there. Turn goes to the bottom. Irv's on the bottom. Elliott is out there all by himself. Now, Elliott's very familiar with this track. He runs it quite a bit, so. That's why you see Elliott running in that middle groove. He knows that's the groove you really want to be in. But if you got nobody up there running with you, then that groove's not going to do you any good.
Best groove in the whole track is completely useless if you're all by yourself sitting in it.
Yep. Especially on a super speedway drafting track. The downside to this kind of racing is you can be as fast as you want to be, but if you don't have the people or anybody helping you, you're not going to go anywhere. Partner gets stuck in that sucker hole in the middle. That's just going to drop him back in. Nobody with him. Oh, no! Jedbro's around.
Holy moly.
Wow, Jedbro crashed hard there.
We'll race back to the yellow, I believe, right?
think they do.
There it is there. Now, we had cars up over the fence there almost, a 72 of, I think that was Connie, right? 72? Yeah, Dark Heart.
Bro, her car is destroyed. The roof is down. The back is, really crunched up pretty good.
Yeah, the damage model on this mod's pretty sweet, too. Nothing too fancy, but...
Jason Darkheart's in there as well. His roof is, he's messing the whole back of the car. Roof's crushed down.
Holy moly. Connie went flying.
Not sure what happened. All of a sudden I saw Jedbro just almost like he got launched
Sideways,
off the
yeah.
side. Yeah.
Like, again, they always talk about that bumper grab, right?
Yep. Grabbed him and just threw him right out there in front of Connie, or into Connie. Just kind of slammed him right in there. And then, of course, Jason right behind, nowhere to go.
That's too bad. They're running a good race. The thing comes down right on. Such crazy airtime, man.
But remember, these cars were done before they had the flaps and stuff, so they got nothing to hold them down on the ground.
Yeah.
Connie became a pilot there for a moment, but no wings and no pilot's license. So
Yeah. There's some synchronized Dark Heart slides right here. Look at this. Do, 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 do. Sheesh. You know what happens when a crash like that occurs? Cockpit cam.
Yep. Nobody stayed out that time. Everybody was on pit road this time. Avalon wins the race off pit road. Kern right behind him. Faulkner right behind them. And John Godfrey's out there. Got the fourth car to come out, followed by Ireland. So that's your top 5 coming out of the pits. See if they stay there. Somebody maybe plays fuel strategy.
Connie Darkheart in the stall, getting repairs, getting tires. Gonna see if it'll run. Looks like it. They did leave some parts behind, and that's funny. I gotta go back and check that out too. It looked like they left some parts down there. In the Darkheart pit.
Isn't that? It's funny how it does that. Sometimes when you take the rear tail off, it stays on the ground.
Yeah. Yep, there it is. There it disappeared. Yeah.
So, Landy Pavlon's back out front. Well, I'm trying to think here. We got pretty close to probably 11 laps to go, I believe. Currently sitting out front, lights are off on the pace car. They're going down. The pace car is making that hard left-hand turn onto pit road.
Pavlon in first. Right behind him is Kearns, Faulkner, and Godfrey. And the 0-0 of Mike Ireland make up your top 5.
See
10
if
laps to
Pavlon,
go here now. Sorry, go ahead.
let's see if Pavlon can get that good run again.
Yeah.
Pretty good launch, but was right there ready for it. Brian Faulkner's right on the back of Kern. Brian drops to the bottom. God, that was close. Brian ducked down to the bottom. Faulkner got down to the bottom there.
Very close.
Very close. Kern was trying to close that door up and couldn't quite get there in time. Who's going to have the better pusher behind him? That's the key right there. It's not the better groove, not the better line. That inside line should get a better run into the corner, but if the outside line has got some good people drafting there, you will see that outside line will prevail on the exit of the corner, as long as they're getting pretty good drafting help there. Off the corner they come. Faulkner right out there in front. They got a really good run through the corner.
So with 10 to go now, is tires and fuel an issue? Might be close.
Fuel might be close. We don't know. That's the big thing. We don't know what they're doing for fuel, but Avalon's dropped back to about the 4th position there. Partner's holding pretty tough on the bottom in the middle there, but that outside line's got 3 cars. Ireland's got pushed right through there.
And just like that, it all changes.
Yeah, it was organized chaos a minute ago, and now it just got really organized chaos. I'm just trying to figure out which line is going to prevail here. Everybody's all over the place. It's like Kern, Faulkner, and Dirt. Oh, we got a spinner. Godfrey around.
Saw the smoke. Race back to the line here. We'll go back and check that out in a minute.
Larry D. Killiman. Saw DJ. Hunksberry's involved in it. Oh, the back of that car is destroyed. John Godfrey's involved.
Oh, man. John was involved in the last one.
No, I don't think Connie was involved. Okay. And called it quits. That car was just not competitive. That was a crazy one there. Cars everywhere.
Back her up here and see if we can find it.
Well, they're going to be probably about, well, let's see, 6 laps to go when we get back, maybe.
Yeah, it's always tough because they can control it too, so they might throw it early. Found it. Oops, there we go. Focused on John Godfrey in the 7-Eleven. So we can't really see what happened there because the camera changes. And yeah, it's one of those things, just runs out of real estate.
Question though is just get too close to whatever the internet latency, or
Yeah.
they're trying to occupy the same spot at the same time. Really, is kind of what I saw. It's crazy.
Godfrey now will go to the pits with Larry D, Ken Huntsbury, Robert Spring, and Johnston are all headed down there.
14 stayed out. Kearns in 2nd. Avalon 3rd. Faulkner in 4th. Ireland in 5th. Regular in 6th. Dave Davis currently back there in the 8th position. Hunksberry's not showing up because I think he's in the pits.
Yeah, I saw him go down pits, yep.
See, the back of that car is missing. Isn't always a bad thing. As long as he can get into somebody with the draft, he might be competitive. In realistic terms, when they take that part off the back of the car, it goes better. In the game, not so much. Just looking at the cars here, seeing how where people are. Right now, Davis being in the 8th position, as long as he doesn't get any penalties and whatnot, he should be, if it were to finish now, he would be the champion. But we don't know for sure if that's.
That's the thing. When we get back to doing that, I think with 5 laps is pretty close to the end, but I mean, anything can happen. We get,
Oh, yeah.
you know, an engine failure. You get all kinds of stuff can happen. So
Lights are still on the pace car. They should go off this time by.
mm-hmm.
With the low line rule in effect too, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to make it better. It just depends on who goes with who gangs up on who. You know, all depends on who you got behind you to where you can go or not. We saw earlier where Faulkner and Elliott got kind of shuffled out there. They were out there by themselves, no drafting help. You know, if you don't have any buddies around you or people that want to draft with you, you're not going to go nowhere.
And a good crew out here tonight with 20 drivers starting this thing. A couple of them have retired, unfortunately. Jason Darkhart, Connie Darkhart, and Jebro. All three of them have been forced to retire from the race. We did see them trying to get... No, yeah, we did see some people like the Darkharts. They were trying to get their stuff repaired, but if you can't keep a minimum speed, you're just in the way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the drivers that we see running this track here, the different leagues that we run, a lot of them, it's literally no fun unless you're really there, hunting for points. It's absolutely no fun running around there by yourself, 20, 30 miles an hour off the pace.
No.
If they're running 3 wide, you're trying to be respectable and run the high groove and get out, stay out of the way. When you're on a track, granted, you can run for a wide here. It usually doesn't end well, but you can do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard for some of the lap cars to try to get out of the way, especially when you got guys 3 wide, 8, 9, 10 deep, and they're bearing down on you hard. It's not so easy to get out of their way. Evelyn's back there in third. I mean, he's got a chance. He gets the right people behind him. He could pull the double tonight. I don't think if he was able to get in there and win, I don't know if it would be enough. Especially with Davis back there in 8th. If Davis drops back a little bit, he does win. It's a possibility, but pace car makes the trip down pit road. We're going to go. We hit the line. Was that going to be 4 laps to go?
It would be 5. Yeah.
5 laps. Always get that wrong just because of the way the game. You hit that lap and then that lap counts. So.
Yeah. But then it's also an entire lap too, right? You got to run that full lap first. So it's Yep.
I
do the same thing. I'm like, no, they're on that lap. It's minus a lap, but no, it's not.
It's always kind of confused me too. Take them a while. It's probably going to take these guys a bit longer. We're used to the truck physics, cup physics, that still takes them a pretty good amount of time to get up to full speed. If they come off that turn 2, they're still, really not up to full speed. Takes some things a while to wind up. Avalon's got a little help on the high side with Faulkner. They're trying to see if they can make that high groove work. Most of the cars are staying on that low groove though, so. Down through, that's gonna be 3 to go, 3 to go, 2 to go, 4 to go. I don't know. We're getting close. Turn drops to the bottom. He's got Ireland with him. Diggler back there. Curves there on the bottom. It just can't, the
turns in the middle.
He couldn't stay down there. That's the rule. The rule is you can't stay on the bottom.
Yeah.
Avalon's up to 2nd right now.
Like I say, not in points contention, could easily just run down there, get a couple of laps, like whatever, and then.
Oh no! Avalon's around off the bumper of Faulkner.
Yeah. Oh. That took out a lot of cars.
It did. Davis is involved in that.
Jeez, a pace car. I'm not even driving, and that scared me. Wait, where's that guy going? Load that up.
See if the backup. See if Huntsberry made it through. I think he just barely made it through that. Ow! I don't know. He didn't have very much room, but he. Oh Jesus! He did get involved in at the very end. Kern come up off from the track. Hunksberry was right up next to the wall, just hugging the wall all the way around there, and Kern come up off the bottom and got into him as he was trying to make his way by. So.
Live. So it's going to be tight now if they want to get a green flag finish in here. Not sure if they're going to be able to do it. I guess we're going to find out in a second. They're all waiting for the pace car. You can see them all stacked up on the front straight there. Stay behind the pace car in 4th position.
Most of the cars that are involved in that are on pit road trying to get repairs done. If this thing should go green. If it goes green.
It can go off at any time, so.
Yeah. Watching the pace car to see if it did or not. Lights are still on the pace car.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible now because we're 24. Next is the white. So they can't go green.
Elliott back there in the 3rd position. He must have worked his way through that accident because Pavel and a bunch of the guys were up there in the front, and now he's going to finish 3rd. We're going to have Herb Johnson down there in 4th. Robert Spring is going to come out with a 5th place finish tonight. Donnie Cameron's going to be 6th. Dave Davis is going to finish in the 7th position, so he was 10 going in ahead of everybody else. I think Dave Davis is going to be your champion unofficially.
Right. Elliott was in front of the wreck.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
Just went back and looked at it. He was in front of it. Happened behind him.
Huntsberry is going to finish in 11th, so 10-point lead going in. He's beat everybody that he has to beat in this race. So, like I said, unofficially, Dave Davis is going to be the champion. We'll have to get him up here and have a chat with him after the race. But
yeah, pretty sure that's how that's going to fall. But they'll take the export and run the numbers.
they've got to. So, who was in 2nd before we went into that? Because they're no longer in 2nd. So, because someone must have been a car that may have been at fault with it or something, went down pit road. So that pushed Chris Elliott up into the 2nd position and Irv Johnson in the 3rd position. So.
Well, we got to thank the drivers, all these guys, for coming out here and doing this thing on a Monday night. A doubleheader, not easy to do, really. You got to adapt to different tracks, not to mention all the sprints that they run on different courses, and
yeah, and they don't really practice it either. They don't get, they don't get an hour and a half of practice to figure out what they're doing. They get like 5 minutes, figure it out, then they go random qualifying. So you don't really know where you're going to start, and then you go out there. And this track it never disappoints. I mean, we saw some good, crazy, 3-wide racing, very few incidents, and it's a product of this track. John Godfrey does a great job making this a 3-groove racetrack so that you have races like we did tonight. Do we want to do Dave Davis first, or do we want to wait and do him after?
I'll do him. What we should save Davis for the end.
Okay.
Because he's the champion of the month, so he'll get the last word. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
So in the first race, we just talked to the winner, but this is the final race, so we'll do the podium, and then so we'll get to talk to 4 of these guys.
Yep.
And they're probably gonna go into a demolition derby mode because that's usually what happens. Chris Elliott's been given the chrome horn to have 14 the whole way around.
Yes, he has. All right, let's see if we can find that Herb Johnson guy. Get him up here. Can't find him up there. Is he in there? There he is. He was hiding. Herb, you got Rod playing as a booth. You got a copy bunch. Herb. DJ.
Yo, go ahead.
There he is. Wow. Good finish tonight, buddy. Come out there with a 3rd place finish tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been 3rd though. I don't know why Brad pulled in the pit there, and he would have had 3rd, or he had 2nd. So I don't know why he pulled in the pit there. The race wasn't over with yet, so kind of give it to me there, but no big deal.
That could be, one of those situations where, he pulled a Mark Martin, pull down pit road at the last lap, 1 lap to go, thinking that he saw the checkered flag and it didn't work. But so you got the pole in the first race, you got back here a little bit further back on the second race, you ran up front a little bit, off and on. You guys had a great time. Of course, this track we're very familiar with. We do a lot of the broadcasting with it, and the no low line rule really kind of made it a little bit different. So give me a little bit of a perspective of your race tonight.
Well, it wouldn't. I was surprised to even be up at the. We got that lotto start. I was surprised to even be up to pole on that when I was able to hold a couple laps. That's about it. Now I got lost my tires there, and I pulled up, and I think it was Jay Bro got in me and brought out the first caution. So had served a penalty, and no big deal. It's the rules. So.
And what's the penalty for that? You do a drive-through, speed through the pit road, right, and get on the end of the longest line?
Oh, yeah, you got to come in. If you cause a wreck, cause a yellow, come out. You got to pull into the pit, take full service, pull out early to get to the end of the line.
Yep. Okay, that's kind of what I thought it was. So, but all in all, let's see. I didn't even look to see where you were going into points.
I got about 6th or 7th, somewhere around there. No, yeah.
You came into the night, starting 6th. So it's still all in all not a bad day, not a bad season for you, really. I know I raced a race with you over in TMP, and you moved over to Open Speedway. Seems to work and fit better for you. So, do you race just on Monday night, or do you run pretty much every night with them? Because I know they run just about every night.
I get in here just about every night. There might be a couple nights I take over. Got to watch the basketball, got to watch that.
Oh, yeah.
So I might take a couple nights off for that. But I'm usually in here to racing with these guys. Yeah, I enjoy it over at TBT or TMP. I might, get in there and start next season with you guys.
Their tire rule's a little bit different, so definitely, we get a kick out of the no low line rule over here and the strategy that it entails, and over there the strategy is really, really different. So I can understand why some people don't like it.
Yeah, that rule is kind of hard to get used to. With the low line rule here, my opinion, it I think it takes out the integrity of the pole position. in a way, but in the other way, it is kind of competitive to do it the low line rules. So either way is okay with me.
Yeah. All right, Blaine, you got a question for EJ?
Well, that's the thing too, with the leagues, every league being so different. They do over here. They got the low line rule. Other places count tires. Is it TMP? You can't pit.
Can't take tires under yellow flag conditions, and you get a certain amount.
Right, yeah, they actually have limits and stuff. I was like, is that do you race in a lot of different leagues just to get a lot of different angles on stuff, or you just tend to stick to the one, or?
Well, I was racing over at Hobo, then TMP, and I kind of got here at Open Speedway, and I kind of enjoy these guys. These are a group of good racers, good drivers, and they're all, it's a good place to race.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens. Is certain people may enjoy racing at different places, but every once in a while you fall into one of those tracks or groups or whatever that you just like, I like racing here. This is fun, and you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a lot of good group, a lot of good drivers, and I got to hand it to Ralph and Donnie and Larry and those guys that, the administrators, they run the races, and, they do a real good job at it.
Congratulations on your third place finish for tonight. We'll give you the opportunity to thank anybody you want to. The floor is yours.
Well, like I said, I just want to race, check our, Ralph and Larry and Donnie and all the administrators and all the other racers out there. You all do a good job, guys. Good race tonight.
Well, there you go. Short and sweet. Congratulations there on your third place finish, and hopefully maybe we'll see you next month, and maybe you'll be up there fighting for that championship. So good luck.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, sir.
Chris Elliott, get right to Blaine's booth. Do you have a copy?
Let me see if this button's working. You got me?
Yeah,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.
All right.
So the last 2 months we come in here and we have, two guys basically going for the championship. Chris Elliott and some other guy. And and you can't finish a race for crap. You can't do, you just didn't have any luck. I mean, first race there, the first, I think it was in January, you end up getting involved in an incident, getting knocked down pit road. Second race, you didn't fare as well either. Then you come back again the next month, and you don't fare as well. And then you turn around, come in here, you only ran one race with these guys, or one, one race, and you come out here and you finish second.
Yeah, I mean, this month was a month off for me. I had a lot of obligations, so I only had one race running. But I really enjoyed coming over here and running. And this was the finale. And you guys are, on board tonight. And I want to try to have a finish this with a good finish, so I can start the next month, which is April, off on a high note. First, I'm going to say congratulations to Mr. Who was that guy? Oh, Gary Angus. I'm so happy he got himself a win. We've been talking about it for months, and he finally had things go his way, and he ran a really good race, as far as I could tell. And it was unofficial, but I think he's going to be good. So congratulations to my buddy Gary, well deserved. But you know what? I had to go to the porta potty over there by the winner's circle with 5 to go on that pit stop. I came back and I had to lose all my positions, start last on that restart with 5 to go. And I knew I had a shot at making some moves up to the front, not winning, but, getting up there a little closer. And that, this track, I love this track. It's got 3 lanes, 4 lanes, 5 lanes. They take turns moving. You don't have to hug the bottom to get to the front like most other tracks. And it makes it for so much fun racing. I heard you talking about it earlier, just a few minutes ago. And this track. It's an awesome track. And when guys get familiar with it, they'll understand. And it was a good race. I had a lot of fun tonight.
I would say, just thinking about it, you look at the list of drivers that were here tonight. I would say you probably have more laps. Not necessarily this version, but you know what I mean. This is a John Godfrey version that's been tweaked and moved, and if got a few facelifts and whatnot. But I would dare say that you probably have turned more laps at this track than anybody here.
Well, I hate for you to say that because then I should have probably won the damn thing.
Well, yeah.
But no, I have had a few laps. It's been a lot of different tweaks on this particular track, so in which they're all good tracks. Godfrey does a hell of a job and takes some time and effort to change these tracks to suit and put the decals on there for the different leagues out there. They all love this version, this kind of racing, and it makes it for a lot of fun when you get used to it. And I enjoyed it, and what can I say? I knew that I didn't even know this was being up there until tonight, and they said Open Speedway night, and I heard it was what version it was. I said, "Oh, this is going to be a good track for all the lanes tonight." So it should be fun, and it was. I mean, I know a lot of people had some wrecks and stuff, but that happens in super speedway racing, just like any other track. But yeah, it's a great track. I hope they keep it.
So my question would be, you like I said, probably got the most laps here. Most of it probably be in the truck physics. You know what I mean? And because that's pretty much what everybody likes to run. The cars suck up a lot better, a lot more power. I don't know if this may be your first time ever running the GNS physics on this, this version of that track. Did you find it that you didn't have that real suck up power like you would with the, with the truck physics or the cup physics? Did it seem like the GNS struggled a little bit to, get it pulled up on the car in front of you?
Actually, no. For me tonight, it seemed like it sucked up pretty good. You got to be careful, when that happens. But I just went to the high side when I got to run, and knew if I had a little bit of help that we could get her up there. But no, I don't know about these physics. I just know that this track pretty much runs the same on all the physics. It might be a mile an hour slower in the different physics, but as far as the lanes, sometimes the low lane runs really fast, sometimes the middle will run, sometimes the high. It kind of switches throughout the event, which makes it interesting. No, I really don't know if it sucks up more or not. It may not, but tonight it did pretty good.
Yeah, we saw that your mile an hour was probably about, I think it's about 5 miles an hour difference, maybe even 10 mile an hour difference from what we're used to seeing, with like the Minsk Cup and
right.
all that stuff. There was a big difference in speed, but as far as driving wise, you just didn't feel it because it doesn't really matter. You're still flying.
Yeah, I never once looked to see how fast I was going. I was just focused, on making sure I didn't wreck anybody and looking around to see who was helping, who wasn't helping, it don't matter as long as the racing's good and all the lanes are even and don't have to worry about staying in the middle or the bottom or the high side. Makes for good racing. You just got to make those right choices and have a little help and it don't matter if you're going 180 or 210. It don't matter because we're all going at the same speed. So it was a great track. Thanks for John Godfrey for getting this all ready quickly for Open Speedway, and I'm proud of Open Speedway for putting this on.
Very cool. Blaine, do you have any questions for Chris?
Sort of answered it. I was going to lean on that GNS physics thing. Does it feel like you're a little bit sluggish out there because you're so used to running the 200, 205 in the draft with the CTS physics, or you just get kind of used to it just doing like the 190, 191?
Well, when we're all going 190, or 188 or whatever it is, and versus going 202, we're all so packed together. It's not that big of a difference for me. Again, I'm not one for worrying about how fast we go. If, you get these script tracks and you go 240 miles out straightaway, and that's kind of fictitious. Actually, it's not very realistic. So, no, it's not that much difference. It doesn't bother me a bit. As long as the racing's good, the guys drive smart, and all the lanes are working, different times. It's fun no matter how fast we're going.
All right, then. Well, I'll give you a chance to thank anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's race or getting you there or however you want to do it. The floor is yours.
All right, Rob, I appreciate it. First, I want to congratulate Gary Mingus on his win. Well-deserved. I want to thank Open Speedway. They put on a good show tonight. They put on a good thing every day of the week, 7 days a week, 24/7 for 25 years. Okay, they've been here the longest, longer than anybody. So kudos to them guys. Appreciate you guys. You do a great job broadcasting the race. I want to thank my lovely wife. Let me race throughout the week and takes a little bit of time away from her, but she understands I enjoy this, so I want to thank her. And I want to thank all the drivers. I thought they all did a super job tonight. I know things happen, but overall, hey, we're out here to direct people. We're here to have fun and race competitively. So, that's all I got to say. Thanks.
Congratulations on your second place finish, and well, maybe next month if they decide to pick us back up, you will be back up there fighting for the championship. So, good luck with that. Congratulations.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, April's my month. Watch out.
There you go.
Let's do it. Gary, the Slingshot Mingus, number 14, buddy, winning this thing. How's it? Long time. Haven't talked to you in a while, man. How you doing?
Oh, I've been doing pretty good. I'm not going to complain. Nobody's going to listen anyhow.
What, out here doing a double header, is that like a big deal to kind of switch gears between tracks, or like how does it feel to I mean, broadcasting it's a little bit weird, but we figured it out.
Not too much has really changed, but I want to put out some congratulations to Dave Davis for winning a championship. I know how hard that is to do. And secondly, the guys at Open Speedway, and I'm talking about Ralph LeBlanc particularly, because he runs and pays for this whole thing and gives us a place to have fun and just enjoy each other's company and our racing. And there's no way that you can hold a candle to that. Of all the leagues that I've raced in over the last 25 years, I've never felt more comfortable than I am right here at Open Speedway.
Do you race with these guys most nights out of the week?
7 nights a week.
Well, they operate seven all days?
Yeah, they do them all.
Wow.
And of course, the Monday night series is the only one they run for points, and it's usually a 2-race over the last, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with tonight's race too, especially with the Talladega one there, like when did you know, you get the track position, you're up front, and you're thinking, okay, the pitting is all done with, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Are you you're driving rear view mirror the whole time, just trying to keep these guys behind you? And like, were you going to be able to, what's the plan because these guys have that no low line rule. What's the plan when you're leading with that many laps left?
Patience, and stay as close to the low line as you can without getting somebody around you, and making sure that when you come up out of that line, draft the second row of cars and let them push you. And that's exactly what happened there towards the end, as they came up, and my buddy Chris Elliott, which I didn't expect him to be there, but he was, and we got a standing joke because I play him in WGT golf, and I'm nowhere near the golfer he is on WGT, but as of today, this makes 2 games that I've beat him on.
Nice. You gotta get the hat trick. You gotta get one more.
Yeah, and Ralph, Donnie has painted. You're accustomed to seeing me in the 12 car, but of course, when I came to Open Speedway, DVDN had the 12 number, and so Donnie Cameron was nice enough to take all of my cars and convert them to a number 14.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I'm still able to keep the Bunny Bread sponsor and all of the other series, plus USAA Bank, and all of the cars that I have painted myself. He has been able to convert them for the number 14 without any problem, and done a fabulous job. And last but not least, the reason that I'm here is because Larry D is a patient and understanding man and doesn't listen to any of the drama or the rumors or whatever's going on, and he just takes you one day at a time. And all you have to do is be patient, and it's frustrating sometimes, but I've gotten to the point where if you're racing 7 nights a week and you get frustrated on one night, well, guess what? You get to come back the next night and do it all over again.
Yeah, there's more laps to run. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it was good to see you win tonight there at Talladega, especially at Talladega. A new version, too. I think this was the inaugural race for the Open Speedway, Super Speedway, rebranded for the league there. But yeah, man, we've actually got 4 people to talk to tonight. We talked to the podium, and now we've got to pull Dave in here and talk to him about his championship win, man. So thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the win. And yeah, we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you, Blaine. Appreciate you, bud. You guys did a great job on the broadcast. I'll be up on.
All right, Dave, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy?
Mr. Dave, sorry to make you wait.
Yeah,
there he is.
So unofficially, you came out with the championship tonight. Let's say?
Yeah.
23 points over Ken Hunksbury. So congratulations on that first.
Thank you so much. I got lucky. I mean, Ken is a very tough competitor, and my goal was just keep him in sight tonight.
Yeah, you got tangled up in one of them there, and we wasn't really sure whether you were going to be all right out of that one. And you didn't seem to have, obviously you didn't have a car that was going to just go charging up to the front, but you were still relatively competitive. So, and then of course on that last lap kind of skirmish, you got a little bit involved in that one as well.
Yes, I didn't take too much damage. I got lucky. The crew, they fixed the car. I wasn't in very long, so I got very lucky on that.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty funny every time we come up here. Usually the guy that's the points leader going in doesn't fare that well over here for some reason. I'm not really sure how that works out all the time, but it always seems to be that way. So I guess apparently when you get the end of the month, you want to try to be second in points and within 10 points of them, and then usually that guy comes out with the championship.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, that worked out good for me then.
Yeah.
Like an imaginary, is it you say like an imaginary target on you?
Right, exactly.
Well, I think a lot of it too, though, is you guys run. We don't cover you only with the last race of the season, so you guys run usually about 8 different tracks. So depending on the selection of the tracks, most drivers are good at certain tracks and not so good at others, and some drivers are just good no matter where you put them. So it seems like the selection of tracks this month seemed to work better for you at least.
Yeah, I like the 1.5 and 2 mile tracks better, and I think I did well there tonight at California.
Yeah, you did a great job there. And then of course we were a little bit worried. Pavlon got the lead. Obviously he was coming into the last race, he was 58 points still behind. Mathematically, we questioned whether or not he had a chance. I guess a few in Huntsbury had been knocked out, right off from the get-go, and he was able to win, maybe, but all in all, just like I said, great run tonight, great race, and come out the championship. So that's pretty damn awesome, dude.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just hoping to stay out of trouble and just be there at the end, and it was like I wasn't even worried about a win. Just let me be in one piece at the end.
Drive like I do. Go out there and just go do the best you can. Points will fall where they fall.
Oh, yeah.
Blaine, do you have any questions for Dave?
I got a question, because we come over here to Open Speedway, we broadcast for you guys. I'm like, some of these, you, for instance, Dave Davis, don't really see your name pop up in any other leagues. Do you participate in any other leagues, or it's just a full-time gig here?
No, I'm just here only at Open Speedway. I mainly run like Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
Of course,
Yeah,
they run just about every night, right?
Yes, we run every night, but I just run mainly Monday, Thursday, and Friday, and I'm with the family the rest of the week.
Very cool. Oh, I had to
That's-
bring you up here just to give you a chance to, congratulate you and whatnot, and just, gotta do this, man. Gotta give you a chance to thank anybody that you would like to thank for getting you here, helping you here, let the wife or girlfriend, whatever, letting you come in here and do this. So, floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. First off, the family for putting up with me doing this, and my friends who at work, they have to hear my stories all week long. And then the guys here, I mean, Ralph gives us a great place to race and hang out. Meet a great bunch of guys. I've been here since 2020. Donnie, he does a great job not only painting the cars, but putting these leagues together and putting everything together. And Larry, all the work he does. Brad, he's been here many years and it's helped out a lot. Same with RK, and Rick Becker's been here like 23 years or something. Great bunch of guys, and I can't say enough about all of them.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, well, congratulations on your championship, and hopefully, like I said, next season, if they bring us back, we'll be up here, congratulating you again on another championship. So, good luck with that.
Sounds good. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to talk to you then.
All right, have a good one, Dave.
Before we let you go, Dave, I got one last question for you.
Oh,
We noticed
sir.
on the back straightaway, it's on your website too, but on the back straightaway there, you guys had a billboard for Trying Harder and Desperado. Were those guys like founders of the league? Do you know?
That I'm not certain. You'd
Okay.
have to ask Ralph about that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just like it when, we've been doing this for so long. Unfortunately, people pass away, and then they get to, they always throw tributes up, and either if it's on the grass in the infield or on the walls, or in this case, they've got it on a great big billboard on the back straightaway. It's pretty awesome to see that.
Right, exactly.
Cool, man. Well, thanks.
I know some of the guys in some of the other leagues and all who have raced here, and I see them on your programs and all, but
actually, watch us?
Nah,
yes, I do.
I don't.
I watch more YouTube on TV than I do actual programs, and I watch you guys a lot.
Dude, I don't even have TV. I watch YouTube and Netflix, and that's it.
Yep.
That's about it. Yep, same here. Maybe some Hulu.
There you go.
Get a good internet connection and pick what you want to watch.
Congratulations, buddy. So hopefully
Thanks,
we
Dave.
get to see you next month and do a great job there this season. So,
Sounds good. It's great having you aboard.
all right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, there
I
he
was
goes.
almost
Your
I was
champion.
almost tempted to grab Larry and bring him up here, but I don't know if they're in there doing checks or whatever. But gotta figure out if we're gonna be doing this anymore with them. We only signed up for 3 months, so we have to see how it goes. But
Yeah, either that or start racing with them, because this is how we end up finding a lot of new leagues too. We end up broadcasting for them. I'm like, who are these guys? But
Larry is
some
the guy I
great
raced.
racing here, man. Like the talent, like again, the drivers, and there's always a couple of wrecks, but it's pretty awesome just to get out on a track like California and run, those big tracks. And these guys aren't rookies, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Larry D's the one that got got a hold of me to come over and do this for him. I used to race with Larry over to Hovo, and he was always talking about this open speedway. At the time, I think I raced 3 nights a week, and it was kind of one of those, I really don't want to add any more at that time, so I really didn't go anywhere when Hobo decided to shut down for a winter series. I ended up coming over to Talladega Nights through that. I ended up at, basically ASR, and actually through Talladega Nights, met you, got into doing this, and that's how come I'm in the booth, and I don't race as much as I used to anymore.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and then when I'm firing the game up, I'm broadcasting it, right? But
kind of hard when just about every night we would race, we're here broadcasting. So
yeah, and I've been thinking about if I could somehow find a way to just put, because now they got 2 computers, just have that old computer in the corner and just have a wheel on it. I would be apt to race more, because I have to change my whole desk around to get the wheel back on, right? So it's it's only moving a couple of things, but it's like, yeah, just
I'm
leave
in the
it.
same way. I'm in the same boat.
You know,
I have
at
to
least
hook my wheel up every time, and it's like, it's not like, the ones that you put on, clamp
so
it,
many wires.
Mine,
That's the thing.
mine has deck screws that hold it onto the bench.
Oh,
So I
jeez.
have my impact, and I. That was a good race, though.
Yeah, great racing tonight. Double header again, and we had great racing. Got the pit stops, got the accidents, some pretty crazy accidents. That Talladega race had a couple of cars going flying. But thanks again to everybody on YouTube for watching this thing. Whoever subscribes to the deal, thanks. Obviously, heaps. Thank you, heaps. Does that make sense? Heaps of thank yous. That something like that. Yeah, we're getting tired.
It's a Canadian thing
because it's late, but it's 12:30 now, so we're gonna wrap this up. 2.5-hour broadcast. And again, everybody who watches on YouTube and comments and does all that stuff, thank you very much. Thank you, of course, to Open Speedway for having us do this at the end of the month. It's always neat to broadcast the championship race each month that happens here. Of course, Rod Weston, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you guys. I guess we won't see you tomorrow, but we'll see you on Wednesday at TMP. And that should be a lot of fun. More IROC racing, but it's the other IROC mod. So
Ironbirds.
a whole bunch of IROC going on. But thank you very much for everybody who supports this thing, the stuff that we do. And of course, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.